With food prices skyrocketing, can we still get a delicious meal in Vancouver on a shoestring budget? Join us as we visit some of the most delicious yet overlooked and Michelin-worthy restaurants in Vancouver. Be the first to find out about these hidden gems before everyone else hears about them.
My name is Amelie Nguyen. I'm a restaurateur, mom of two, and I love to gather and amplify positive stories. My family and I created an award-winning restaurant in Vancouver, and I would love to see more heirloom recipes shared and showcased around the world.
I am Trudy Tran. I am a self-proclaimed foodie who is always in search of my next great meal. This pursuit has led me to many great adventures. I've eaten everything from street food vendors to Michelin star restaurants across the globe. And now, I'm ready to showcase what Vancouver has to offer.
We are both on a journey to find local neighborhood gems with delicious eats and human stories and connection behind the food. We'll travel through struggles and triumphs behind Vancouver's hidden food scene. Watch, follow, subscribe, and share!
Welcome.
We're so excited to be here.
So excited to have you.
What are we having today?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have a non-alcoholic drink.
Okay, wonderful.
It doesn't really change. What took you so long? I'll have whatever cocktail you would like to make me.
Wonderful.
Yeah, the world's
I'll get
yours.
them started.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've never asked you about this. I always see that neon sign and I've taken so many photos of it, but what is the story behind 1983?
Well, in this restaurant, it's like if you go in and you ask, like if you actually took the time to look and ask, everything's kind of coded and there's like meaning to everything. I don't know, we're a sentimental family. But 1983 was the year that we first made noodles. Mom made noodles in her home, rental home, like in Vancouver and East Van. And so for 2 years they worked there up until 1985 when they opened up their small little like 30-seat restaurant on Main and 18th, and it was called, right now it's Chef Claire's, but back then it was called Pho Hoang. It used to be Pho Hoang!
This is where you took that photo of you as a kid, a chubby little kid sitting there doing homework.
Yes. Here. So in this spot. And eventually they saved up enough and they opened up where Anh and Chi is now. This place was being redeveloped, and my dad always, like, he's the visionary of the family. He's not with us here anymore, but he wanted to like elevate Vietnamese cuisine, and he wanted to bring things that my mom used to eat at home, because he knew, he's a smart man. He knows that my mom knows how to cook because her mom knew how to cook.
And he also served alcohol, which was quite new at
Very
that time.
new.
Like pairing alcohol with Vietnamese food was like unheard of at that time.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely laid the foundation.
Yeah, in fact, these floors we step on were laid by your father, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Vincent camped out here and he broke down all the walls and he realized he was connecting with our late dad, right? Like it was his kind of closure. He was like, he wanted to be close to family, and everything was broken down, but he wanted to leave one thing, and that is the floors. It's a cement floors. It's very basic. We just like did a polish, and we kept it just to remind us that we stand on top of, like, you know, giants' shoulders. Like, so should we go interview with them? Should we go grab them and dig more? Let's dig deep today.
Let's dig deep,
Should we dig
and
deep?
then let's dig in.
Okay, let's do it.
Hi friends, welcome back to Munchies the Michelin. So Amelie, today you've taken me to a place that's close to, like literally close to your heart and close to home. What's
Welcome to Anh and Chi. I'm really happy, Mom and Vincent. I know you know, I've been able to step into the creative side, so I'm in a different seat and a different hat today. But I want to dive deep into the hats you wear here at Anh and Chi. So, introduce to us, our big fans out there, who you are and what you do.
My name is Nguyen, is a chef in Anh and Chi.
Welcome to Munchies the Michelin.
Thank you.
And you?
Yeah, my name is Vincent Nguyen, owner and operator here at Anh and Chi restaurant, also chef as well. So.
We've got so much we want to learn about this restaurant. I mean, you know, it's an award-winning restaurant. It's got so much history. It's been around since 1983. So let's dive deep. Let's learn more about where this started and where it's going.
Lúc mà mẹ mới qua đây á, thì mẹ chỉ là đi nấu phở thì là cho đồ ăn cho nó, mẹ muốn là nấu món này món kia ra để cho những người bạn bè rồi biết thưởng thức ăn, rồi bắt đầu mình mới là bắt đầu đi ra mình buôn bán, thì mình muốn thật sự mình muốn bán là để kiếm tiền nuôi con thôi, là ban đầu là mẹ chỉ muốn đi làm để kiếm tiền nuôi con.
So how did you feel when mẹ có bao giờ imagine to win a Michelin Bib Gourmand?
No, mẹ không có bao giờ mà nghĩ là mẹ được Michelin hết đó, là không bao giờ được, là mẹ surprise mới được cái đó, mẹ so shocked.
Most immigrants and like my mom, you know, being of refugee background, they come and they cook for survival.
Yeah.
They cook for survival. She cooked to make ends meet. Like you worked a full-time job.
Yeah.
Right?
Full-time job.
And
for
then
bakery.
In a bakery, and then at nighttime, then you would, and on the weekends.
Yeah, on the weekend I make some food for a friend come to eat first, and then they said, "Oh, very good. I like your phở," and then.
You were cooking at home.
Yeah,
right?
I'm cooking at home. Yeah.
And it takes a lot of
Yeah, I remember you telling the story. You were cooking out of your garage, and then and then you know, Health Canada came and got you.
garage. It was like at the house, like
In the backyard,
Yeah.
like in the 1980s. And,
But that was it, right? When immigrants come to a new country, they're always looking for comfort, and that comfort is in the form of food. And so that's the reason why, you know, a lot of immigrants come and they open up restaurants to attract people from that same community. You kind of started cooking or running a restaurant in 1983. It's now 2023, 40 years. You've basically been in the industry for 40 years. And I'm going to ask you a question that we always ask every single one of our guests is, what were some of your biggest sacrifices and some of your biggest gains?
Là hy sinh là mẹ phải chịu rất là cực khổ để lo làm, even mẹ thấy bỏ hết thời giờ vô, công sức vô để tập trung vô lo cho công việc đó, để lo cho mình làm cho con của mình đó, để nuôi con mình, thì mẹ phải hy sinh cho các con của mình không có được, nhiều khi cũng không có lo được vẹn toàn, là tại vì mình phải tập trung để làm nhà hàng. Thì cái đó là mẹ hy sinh, là nhiều khi mẹ cũng có không có đủ thời giờ để lo cho các con được chu toàn. Cái đó là cái hy sinh của mẹ lớn.
How did that feel as a child?
I understand now, and I think maturing and understanding the sacrifices. As a parent, you know, you have to raise your kids and spend all the time you have with your kids, but you have to choose whether you have food on the table or not. And so the sacrifices of, you know, being raised by my older sister, or not having mom and dad time, you know, it is what it is. You know, you come home, you have dinner at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and that's normal hours for us. And so the sacrifices are there, but we appreciate and we thank them, and we don't blame them now that where we are today. Because without those sacrifices, you wouldn't be able to take a step forward.
Like, people might see us now and be like, oh, you know, they're doing well, there's lineups out the door, but there's been sacrifices along the way, and whether it's in our life now or in their lifetime, but I think any family and any successful business or restaurant, there's been a sacrifice somewhere down the line.
100%.
And I think for ours mainly was when mom and dad came here as refugees and settling in. And I mean, let's hear some of her stories. Like, I hope, mom, coming here like as a refugee, mẹ ở đây, mẹ mới qua từ Việt Nam. What were some of the hardest things you remember?
Khó khăn là lúc đó là nhớ là mình chưa có nhà nước còn viện trợ mình, thì mình nuôi con, mình đem con mình đi học trường á, là mình nhớ là cái kỷ niệm khó khăn á, là mẹ đi xe bus á, là mẹ đẩy chiếc xe để con đi học đó. Rồi mẹ đi làm, mẹ phải đi làm để kiếm tiền nuôi tụi con, thì mẹ đẩy con gửi trong trường học. Thì lúc đó bữa đó trời mưa thì cái mẹ đẩy con lên xe bus thì phải khiêng cái xe, rồi đẩy cái xe che cái dù vậy nè, rồi cái dù nó bay đi. Lúc mà trời mưa gió thổi cái dù mẹ che cho con, gió bay thì mẹ chạy lại mẹ ôm con thì thấy con nó ướt hết đó. Lúc đó mẹ cũng nhớ.
Tears, man. Tears, zoom into
You know,
his
I
face.
am not a
He is
robot.
so cool.
Okay, so everybody, I'm not a robot. You know, these two are crying. I'm still smiling. It's because I don't understand. Okay, let's clear that off the table.
She remembers dropping me off at daycare, and she was waiting for the bus, and the bus came and like not only splashed, you know, me and her, and then it was raining and the wind was blowing, and then the wind blew away her umbrella, so she had to run after the umbrella, and she came back with her kid like wet. And it was like every day was like that, right? Like going to 2 jobs and like, but people don't see that. And so
Our struggles in our family was in 1980, 1983, those years, in the 80s, and that doesn't mean that there's no other families out here now in today's world that are suffering the same thing, that are having incidents. It's just, we understand now that these sacrifices and these hardships affect so many people, not only back then but now, and many different cultures, many different countries, even worse. So, but we're just able to happy to share what we've gone through.
you've made sacrifices, time away from the people you care about. So what is your biggest gain, do you think, that you've got through Anh and Chi?
I think the biggest gain is to be able to still work beside my family. Yeah. Family is really important. One of the reasons why I turned around and left medical school and decided to come back into hospitality and into restaurants was because of family, because my father passed away. So that was one of the reasons of the many. And so coming back into here and being able to work alongside my mother and my sisters, and then meeting like all my friends and family here. Like these is my family. My chefs, my cooks, my bartenders, my servers and managers, they're all my family, and I mean it. So yeah, that's the biggest gift that I received.
That was beautiful. Who are you? Wow.
It's the most sentimental Vince I've ever
seen you.
But you know, naturally, since we're talking to you, Vince, I'm going to ask you this question: is, you know, you came back, you gave up your other life to come back to start this restaurant because you wanted to work with your mom because your dad passed away.
Yeah.
That was in a way by choice, but that was also in a way by circumstance.
Yeah.
But now that you've been here for 6 years, like, like, why do you keep staying here? You don't have to, but why do you stay in the restaurant business? And,
I love it. I love it. I think this was my calling, and this is like what's meant to be. You gotta love what you do. I really do love what I do. It's like the daily challenges, the daily quirks, the reward to be able to work alongside people that you love to be around. You have an amazing team, like amazing team.
wings are so sweet and sticky, so delicious. So, you know, today's story is close to home, it's personal. But step out of it and look from an outsider. What's your take on this restaurant? What's your take on this story?
No, I think we talked about a lot about sacrifice today, and I think sacrifice is necessary. And as long as sacrifice is necessary because we have to live and survive, but it also at the same time builds resilience. So when we're as like for me, when I see my mom sacrifice for us, and you know, you learn to be stronger. And for me, I wish this upon my children, and I hope like the younger generation or just people around like recognize that the sacrifices that you and the people close to you make, as long as you don't like take it for granted, as long as you use that and you leverage the sacrifice that they put to do something better for yourself, better for the community, I think that's all that one asks, right? So at the end of the day, when my mom goes, you know, what's her biggest accomplishment? It's not like, you know, I have a restaurant, I have a Michelin Bib Gourmand, but it's like my kids turned out okay. My kids turned out good. And I think she's very happy and probably proud to see that, you know, her love, her sacrifice has reached beyond even us as our family and to the greater community.
Yeah, it's definitely reached far beyond her little community, her little family. And hopefully, you guys will be able to use this and continue to do many more good things in the future. All right,
Okay, remember to
watch,
like,
share,
subscribe. See
you
you,
next
Munchies to
time.
Michelin.